Mic test, one, two, three. Good evening, gladiators in suits. See, I promised. I said I was going to be online by 10 o'clock, even made it earlier. So thank you for joining us tonight. Trying to make up because last week I only went live once. So I want to go live at least twice for this week. Welcome. Topic for tonight is about confidence building. So the topic for tonight is I have stage fright. Help. What can I do to improve my confidence if I need to speak in front of a big audience? I know it's a very classic topic, and I know that I've discussed this so many times, but it's also one of the most popularly asked how do you call this, discussion points, because I think at the end of the day, our ability to convey a message to a group of audience, no matter how intelligent we are, is it's paramount to our success. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about how could you improve your ability to communicate. Okay? There are many ways of communicating. There's writing, there's saying it verbally. We're going to focus on the verbal part. Okay? We're focusing on you are in front of your manager, you're in front of the management team, you have to present a set of 10 slides. How do you muster that courage? How do you take out the fear that you are going to be judged and therefore you will end up making a mistake and that you will regret it for the rest of your life? Okay, we'll talk about that in tonight's topic. Want to do a quick shout outs. Myra Rivamonte says hello, watching from Caloocan City. Flor Delisa says hello from Dubai. Anton also says hello. Thelma says welcome to Facebook. Okay, are you welcoming me on Facebook, by the way? Rio says hello and is tagging her friend. Maria K says hello from Vancouver in Canada. Okay, Tricia says also hello on TikTok. Thank you. Witty Brain 69 says also hello, Sir Jonathan. Thank you. Let me also check my TikTok here. Raymond Magdato also says hello, Jonathan. John Paul also says good evening. Thank you. Christina Ocampo also says hello. Paul Su has already a question here. I am being, oh, it's not a question, it's more of a comment. Sorry. I'm conscious about my word fillers like ums and ah. Ums and ahs are not bad. Okay? It's important to use ums and ah once in a while because you're trying to bridge one idea to the next. So it's a connecting sound that allows you to let your audience know that you are in thinking mode. Because otherwise, if you just keep silent for more than 5 seconds, they might wonder what exactly is happening with you. However, I also recognize that ums and ah, if you say it too many times in a meeting, it can be irritating to your audience. So from time to time, try to do some variety. Rather than saying ums and ah, what I do is that I prolong the last syllable. So for example, the last word is comment. So I will say, so I'm thinking of the right comment. See what I did there? That's another way of making it look like you're still thinking. Another way also is try to do some theater. So what I will do is instead of saying ums and ah, I will do a strategic pause, but I will just not pause randomly. I will pause. Sometimes I will tilt my head. I will do something like this. So I was thinking, what if? So I do something like that. It's important to let your people, your audience know that you're thinking, you're visible while you're thinking. Okay? A strategic pause is also way better. Silence sometimes is better than too many ums and ahs. Okay? Sean, okay, this is out of the topic, but let's answer this quickly. Is it okay to retract from any job offer? Of course. As long as you have a valid reason, I'll give you one valid reason. You said yes to this company, but your dream job and dream company only offered something to you 1 month or 2 months later. I know it's not ideal to just quit your job and move to that other job, but this is once in a lifetime opportunity. You don't think you will ever get this again. Granted that this other company will take it against you, probably they will. They probably won't forget you about it, but this isn't a crime. Okay? You're not neither I don't think personally, I don't think it's unethical at all. All is fair in looking for your dream job. But please don't do this out of the blue and out of just wanting to think that you can get away with it. Okay? If this happens to be your dream job that you've been waiting for X number of years, and it just so happens that the timing was off, I think this one's legit. Another reason why you can retract your job, you're not ready for it because something happened with your family, something happened with your personal life. Okay? Every time you retract a job and you tell them that you're not able to pursue anymore, you need to give a proper explanation. Do not ghost on your employer. Okay? Give them a proper reason why, so that there is also proper closure behind it. Okay? Let's look at some more thoughts in the chat box. Lendl Can, do you have plans on having a live workshop in Cebu? We were supposed to have one in October, but it got moved with our partners with SMX, so we will let you know about that. Okay. I will be in Cebu, however, on September 22 and October 13. And the reason for that is because we are conducting workshops for certain clients. Okay. How will you answer in an interview? Okay, I like this question from TikTok, from DG. How will you answer in an interview the question, does your company know that you are applying? My answer is no. My company does not know, and I don't think that my application to this job has anything to do with my company knowing it. That's how simple it should be. And the reason why I don't like my company to know is because it's none of their business. The reason why my company does not know is because this is a private matter that I am handling on my own, and it's related to my career. Okay, I am not obliged to tell it to my company. And the way I'm speaking to you right now, my assumption is that there is confidentiality between the two of us with this transaction. By the way, if I were to extend this logic, please take note that your company does not need to know that you are applying for another job. And more importantly, I don't think you should even tell it to your company. Why? They will see you in a different light. They will think that you have plans of moving out because you're not fully satisfied. You're not as loyal as they thought you were. Your boss might treat you differently up until you've moved on to a different job. Okay. Okay. Oh, I like this answer from JVC. Learn from stand-up comedians. They are a master of communicating. Whenever I get interviewed, whenever I do talks, and they ask me, John, how do you manage your ability to speak in front of the public confidently? And I tell them, even if I'm a motivational speaker, even if I'm a workshop facilitator or a trainer, more than that, I also see myself as a stand-up comedian. And the reason for that is because the only way to be able to get people's attention is to drive it by humor. Also, if you happen to be witty, if you happen to be funny, it also suggests a level of intelligence from your end. You will not be able to put up with a good banter with an audience if you don't know how to think fast on your own feet. Okay, do you have a podcast, Jonathan? Yes. Please catch us on Spotify. The title of the podcast is From Grit to Great, or you could please type my name. We're now on season 2. We talk about career, leadership, etc. Mamie on Facebook is asking this question. Any thoughts if I have no movement in my same position for 12 years? Okay, Mamie, I'm going to look at two perspectives here. First, from your point of view, why? Why have you not been promoted? Is it because you don't want to? Or number 2, is it because your progression is just stable? You're doing okay, but not good enough for you to be promoted. So my question is, are you contented with that? But the fact that you're asking this question means that you think that something can be better for you. So my question is, what can we do to exceed expectations of your organization? Number 3, maybe you're not getting promoted or you're not advancing the ranks because this company does not believe in that philosophy. Take note, there are companies who do not treat promotion or advancement as something that they owe to their employees. If they can keep their employees in the same rank and file, in the same amount of salary because they can save money from that, why not? Sometimes that's the philosophy of business owners. If you want to advance the ranks, but this company does not want that to happen, then you're in the wrong company. This is not the company that will support your career progression. Okay? Dina is asking on TikTok, is it okay to utter a slight humor during interview? I think so, as long as your humor is still tasteful. Okay? As long as your humor does not offend anyone. As long as your humor is intellectual. Okay? I'll give an example. In a job interview, let's say the interviewer asks, so, John, are you happy with your current company? I will try to insert some humor by saying, well, I think I could be happier. And I think that happiness can be sourced from your company because I've heard great things. A little blue bird told me that a lot of things are amazing in your organization. So you see how I'm flirting, how I'm trying to put some humor there, but at the same time, I'm still being artful and tasteful at the same time. Okay. Kenneth is asking on TikTok, what can you advise when you feel that you are overloaded in your work? You have to talk to your manager. Sometimes managers will just keep on dumping work as long as they think that no one is complaining. So when no one is complaining, they will assume that everything is just fine. So you have to let them be aware of how you feel about your workload. When you also talk about the workload, don't make it look like you are complaining. You are complaining, but you don't want to look like you're complaining. So I would say something like, boss, you know me, I'm a go-getter. I would love to contribute as much as I can. However, the only way for me to give my best version is if I can focus on tasks 1, 2, and 3. Unfortunately, given the workload right now, wherein I'm also handling the tasks of Anna and Jimmy, who left the company 4 months ago, I don't think I will be able to keep that same amount of focus. And I am concerned about the quality of the output. I'm a team player. I want to give my best to the company. But if the company will keep me spread too thin across all of these tasks, I may not be able to give my best. So I'd like to ask for your help. Is it possible X, Y, and Z? So that's where you offer your solutions now, such as, is it possible that we can do hiring of additional manpower? Is it possible if I can transfer task A, B, and C instead to person X, Y, and Z? Okay. Mike says, "Hi John, I've shared the communication styles. This is from our leadership workshop." He said, "Our communication styles graph to my team overseas. They love it. Thank you." If you're talking about what we had in our leadership workshop at the SMX Convention Center, thank you. That makes me so happy because that means people are being able to apply what they've learned. Okay, team. By the way, before we proceed, I want to remind you that we are giving away copies of our books because we are going to sign these books tomorrow, 6 o'clock p.m. at the SMX Convention Center in Pasay City at the Manila International Book Fair. We got 4 books available for you to get copies in the site. But for tonight, I'm going to give away 2 winners. 2 winners, copies of our 4th book, Everything Will Be All Right. Now, there are 2 ways to be eligible to win. Number 1, you have to physically attend the MIBF, the Manila International Book Fair. You have to be there to claim it. We will not send this to you via courier. We will not teleport this to you. You have to be there. Okay? Number 2, you have to be able to share this live stream on your newsfeed. That is the only way to be eligible to win the prize because when we look at your answers, we're going to be asking a trivia question later on. If you answer the question correctly, we're going to find out if you have shared the live stream on your newsfeed. Okay? Team, you have to physically attend. The reason why I'm saying this is because the winner last night is not going to be able to attend because he said that he's going to be in Cebu. So I told him, I can't give you the prize. So instead, he's going to send his best friend, which is fine with me. But if you're not in Metro Manila, I am sorry. I will not be able to give you the prize. So this is only eligible for those who happen to be capable to be present at the Manila International Book Fair tomorrow. Okay? Entrance is for free at the SMX Convention Center. I will be signing your books for our meet and greet 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock p.m. I just don't want to sign books, by the way. If you have any career questions, please drop by. I will be very happy to share my thoughts. Okay? We'll be asking a trivia question in after we finish two or more three questions. Okay? I like this. Lendl Can on Facebook is asking this question. I have a question. How do you beat what we call as the Hawthorne's effect? Or when people are watching you, you change your behavior in the aspect of public speaking. There's also another term for this. I call it as the spotlight effect. The spotlight effect is when you are speaking or when you're walking or when you're moving, you start getting paranoid that everyone is judging you, looking at you, and thinking of bad things about you. Can I get an exclamation mark if you guys can relate to that? Yes? Can you relate to that? That's called the spotlight effect. By the way, I'm looking at the screens. I am not getting enough likes. May I please request the participants if you could please give us a heart or a like? Facebook, folks, you have to catch up. We've got 1,700 likes on TikTok. I am not getting a lot of love on Facebook. You have to give me more of that. Please do so. Please give me some likes, some hearts. That's the only thing we request from you. Okay? Thank you. Ayan. So let's continue the question. So what do I do if I am too conscious of what other people think? My answer to this, two things. Number one, divert the attention to what you think about yourself and push that to your audience. What do I mean? Instead of saying, "Oh, I might make a mistake. They might think that I'm not intelligent. They might think I'm not as good as they thought I was." Rather than thinking of those things, divert it to the audience and say, "I want to speak because I want these people to be inspired. I want to speak because I want them to be impressed. I want these people to know how good I am. I want these people to know how I have prepared so much for this session." When you change the perspective that it's not about you, but it's about the audience and what the audience will benefit from it, you become more selfless. And I'm going to say this, when you become selfless, when you become, when you feel that you're being altruistic, you end up being more inspired. You feel more love. You feel that you want to give your best. Can I get an exclamation mark if you can relate to that? Okay? That's one. Number two, I want you to look at the technicality of it. Is it really true that people want you to fail? Is it really true that people are looking at everything about you, like your nostrils or your pimples? No, they're not. Why? They're busy people. They are thinking of other things as well. I also want to say this, in most situations, most people want you to succeed. Unless the person is really your enemy, most people will not think of the worst things about you. Everyone is more driven to think of positive thoughts. Please remember that. Okay? Can I get an exclamation mark? Everyone is likely driven by positive thoughts. So when you're about to present on stage and when you're about to present a set of slides, it's not a default mindset for someone to think, "Ha, I want this person to fail. Ha, this person's not good enough." I don't think people are like that by default. There are people who are like that, but there are far more people who are looking up to you and say, "I want to see him do well. I want to be impressed. I want to see what this guy is made of. And if the person's good, I'm going to clap." I'd like to think that more people think like that. Do you agree? Right? Remember, it takes lesser effort, it takes lesser energy to be positive in your outlook in life than to be negative. If you prefer to be a negastar or a negatron, it takes more muscles, it takes more energy. So it's not the default mindset of everyone. So let go of that mindset that people will always gang up against you. Okay? Focus on the good thing. When I'm about to go on stage and I have, let's say, 300 or 400 people who need to listen, rather than thinking of it's about me, I'm thinking of what's in it for them. Okay? If I'm able to deliver a leadership workshop brilliantly to a group of 100 audience members, the possibility is that 100 leaders can be better leaders for their people. And if I assume that each leader has 20 direct reports, then probably I will change the lives of 1,000 employees because now they have better leaders. When I think of that, I become more inspired. I become more excited. I feel that I'm doing something worthwhile. And my nervousness, my insecurity goes away. That's how I perceive it. Okay. Alfred Tollis is asking, do you have an upcoming leadership or communications workshop? Thank you for the segue. Yes, September 29 and September 30. Alfred, if you're watching this, you see this one? That is the link. Okay, that's the link on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube where you can catch our workshops happening on September 9, 29, and 30. For folks who are on TikTok, if you guys are wondering what I'm talking about, you can go to this website and you can catch our 4 modules happening on September 29 and 30 at the SMX Convention Center. Okay, you can get tickets. Each ticket is 1,299 pesos for 3 hours. Okay, Domingo. Hi, John. Domingo is asking on LinkedIn, how do you train someone in communication or public speaking if he or she is shy or introverted? Okay, I need to clarify this. Shyness is different from introversion. Shy people do not speak up because they are afraid that they are going to be rejected. They are afraid that they're going to be judged by others. Introverted people do not speak up all the time because they don't see the point that they have to express themselves all the time. I'm also going to say this. One of my favorite speakers outside the Philippines is Simon Sinek. And Simon is an introverted person, meaning he loses a lot of stamina and energy when he's with a lot of people, but he's a great speaker. And I think he does a lot of sense. He makes a lot of sense when it comes to leadership principles as well. So if I were to give a tip to someone who is introverted, okay, what I would recommend is start practicing in front of a group of people that you first trust. Why is that? Introverted people usually express themselves better when they are in a circle that they can trust. Okay? They usually select and they curate the people that they want to talk to. They don't just easily express their thoughts to strangers. You have to be able to win their trust first. So that's how I would start with an introvert. How about for shy people? I would do a gradual methodology, just like in anxiety. When you want to teach someone who is afraid of spiders, what do? You start with a picture of a spider. And then you start with a toy that is like a spider. And then you start showing a spider inside a cage. And then you start showing a spider outside a cage. And then you start showing the spider from afar, and then you get nearer until you get to touch the spider. This is one of the classic methodologies in making people overcome their fear. What we call it is exposure therapy. So same thing also for shy people. I'm a big believer that no matter how shy you are, the more you get exposed to the same thing over and over again, the more you get desensitized. And the more that you think that this is just one of those days that I need to get through. So what's my point here? If you happen to be shy and you need to speak confidently, there is no substitute to repetition and practice. Say it with me again. There is no substitute to repetition and practice. The more you practice it, remember, practice breeds familiarity, familiarity breeds confidence, confidence breeds success. So keep on practicing. Okay? And when I say practice, you don't need to be the one always speaking up. You can practice by listening to people conduct meetings. You can practice by listening to people do speeches. If you can, watch one TED Talk per day and try to absorb how that person speaks. You have to, guys, it's a volume, it's a game of volume. The more that you do it as much as you can, 1,000,000 times, 1,000 times, the more you're going to be better off than someone who only does it once a month or once a week. That's it. There is no secret. It's constant exposure to the activity. There is no magic pill. There is no DNA. Okay? I do agree that DNA, if it's passed on to you because your parents happen to be good public speakers, possible. But remember that public speaking is a skill. It is not a talent, which means skills can be taught and skills can be learned. Okay? Okay, let's answer some more questions. Parang nag-TED Talk na ako dun ah. Let's answer one more question before we go for we give away our prizes. Uh, Tips for people with long career gaps. Be ready to be judged because that's what people are going to think of when they look at your resume, and be ready, they will be asking those questions. Be ready with your answers as well, and be honest or position yourself. So, for example, if your career gap was because you took care of your family, say it. That's one of the hardest things to rebut. When people talk about their families, people are not going to end up judging you because they will respect you for spending time to taking care of others. Okay? And even if you had a career gap, I think that the best way to put value into that gap is to tell the recruiter or the interviewer what exactly did you learn during that career gap. So, for example, you had a 2 year or 1 year career gap because you went traveling the world. In my job interview, I will say, in those 2 years of traveling all around the world, I think that I have learned more than what I had when I was in my last year of school. And that's because there are a lot of things that you will not learn in university, such as the ability to socialize, ability to communicate, the ability to muster the confidence and the courage to speak up to strangers and ask for help. And I think that these are skills that are very important when you enter the corporate world. I became more mature. I have transformed into a fully fledged adult because I was able to learn how to travel by myself. And that means taking good care of myself in a strange place with so much ambiguity, and I don't know what to do, and yet I'm able to pull it off. You see what I did there? I tried to connect that the skills and the qualities that I learned are the same skills that are needed when you're now in the corporate world. So I'm putting depth and I'm putting value to what I had in my career gap. Okay? That's the trick. David Rabella says, just bought your book, Fast Forward. Fast Forward is this one, which, by the way, is translated also in Vietnamese. If you happen to be in Vietnam, available also in Saigon bookstores. And I don't have it here, but the entire thing is in Vietnamese cover and Vietnamese text also. Thank you, David. I hope you enjoy our book. Joshua Batulan says, favorite tagline starting right now, skills can be taught and skills can be learned. Yes. Skills can also be measured. You can be level 1 or level 10, which is why it's amazing, because when you know that you're just level 5, there is space and room to be level 6, level 7, and level 8. Okay, Dina. Okay, I like this question. Is it a turn off to an interviewer if you talk too much? I think talking too much can be a turn off only if it has come to a point wherein you're speaking so much and you're not even letting the recruiter ask questions. You're interrupting too much, it becomes rude. But if you're speaking a lot because you have a lot to share, you have a lot to talk about, I will not be turned off. In fact, it's a sign of enthusiasm. It's a sign of interest. It's a sign of intelligence as well. If you have a recruiter who feels insecure that you talk about too many things, for me, it's a red flag. This is a company that does not like it when others happen to be intelligent or happens to be passionate or enthusiastic about what they want in life. Okay? Alpha Donna says, I had a career gap when I had to focus with my son, diagnosed with ADHD. At the age of 4, I came back working again after 7 years. Okay? So, same thing. So, I'm going to use this as an example. If I was asked to explain why I had a career gap, I will explain that I had to take good care of my child. And I will also tell them family is very important for me. And during those years that I had to take good care of my kid, I learned a lot of things. I learned immensely the value of patience. I learned immensely the value of what teaching is, because teaching to a son with ADHD may be a challenging compared to someone who does not have ADHD, for example. So you see what I'm doing here? I'm trying to convert that the lessons that I've learned during my career gap are valuable lessons that I can apply in the corporate world, which still makes me marketable to the recruiter and to the employer. Okay. Okay. My dog Asta is licking my feet now because he wants to go out. Okay, LinkedIn user is asking this. Okay, let's do this as the last question before we go for our online contest. How do you handle a mental block when you are doing a presentation or speaking in front of a huge audience? Okay, before I answer this, I want to give you something that you can do to prevent mental block in the first place. Okay. And the way to do that is, if you have a 5 minute, 10 minute, or 15 minute speech, please remember that you don't need to memorize every single word or every single sentence. What you only need to remember are the basic parts of what you want to talk about. So, for example, you want to talk about, I have an opening, I have a question to ask, I have a problem that I need to raise, I want to talk about the two solutions to that problem, and then I have a closing portion of the speech. That's it. So that if ever you forget what you want to talk about, and it's fine to forget about it, you just need to go back to those 5 slots. Can I get an exclamation mark if that's clear? It's not going to be that hard to forget the 5 things. Focus on the 5 things and then deliver the speech as you want. Okay? Number 2, what if the mental block is so significant that you just lost the train of thought? What I find helpful about this is you can be honest and candid about it, and you can ask for help from the audience and say something like, "Ooh, team, I'm sorry. I'm so excited about what I'm talking about, and so I just lost my train of thought. Can someone please remind me again, what was I talking about?" You can be as honest like that, and people will even appreciate your vulnerability because they know that you are just as human as they are. And then someone likely will be able to answer your question. It's graceful, but you also make yourself more approachable to your audience. Okay? Okay, I like this question from Nika Vito Cruz. Any tips for someone who will go to a management path? How can we answer the question, what is your leadership style, if we don't have experience yet in managing people? My default answer here would be, I think that leaders are chameleons. And that is, regardless, that even if you have a preferred style, a leader must still be able to be flexible in understanding the needs of their talents so that they can adjust. And the reason for that is because, let's face it, even if you have a certain style of leadership, it will not work on all types of audiences. Can I get a letter A as an amen? It won't. Even your style of feedback, if you're confrontational or if you're passive aggressive, some people will work with that style, some people will not. If you want to become a good leader, sometimes you have to be the one to adjust. Okay? You might be the mother hen. You're always nice to your people. You do not scold them. You don't give them penalties. That's not going to work all the time if you finally have an employee who's not going to be respecting you. So what do? You become a commander. You convert your personality and you tell them who exactly is the person in charge. Okay? So it's ideal to still have your own preference and style, even if you don't have experience yet. And by the way, when I say experience, you don't need to become a leader to identify you having as an experience. When you were in university or high school and you were able to become the president of the class or the secretary of the class or the project leader of a group report, that is leadership. So try to identify, how did you handle those situations as a leader? You do have a leadership style, even if you have not yet gained work experience. Okay? Gerald Handugan, I like this sentence. It is not a one size fit all exercise. Agree. That is leadership. Okay? If you're the type of leader who imposes that my way is the only way, you're not a leader. You're a boss. You're a bossy boss. And that's not what leadership is. Okay? All right, team, I need to give away our prizes now. I want to give away copies of our best-selling book. You can claim this in tomorrow's Manila International Book Fair meet and greet with yours truly at 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock p.m. Booth number 223. I'm going to repeat, booth number 223. I'll be there. I hope I get to see you guys in the line, and then I can ask me career advice as well. Okay? If you guys are ready, could you please give me a letter R, as in ready, in the chat box? Remember, we'll be looking at multiple screens. The first person who will get, the first two people who will get this right will be eligible to get the prize. Plus, make sure that you have shared this live stream on your news feed. I'm going to repeat. You need to share this live stream on your news feed. Okay? If we did not see you sharing this on your news feed, you're not eligible to join the contest. Okay? So I'm going to give you a few seconds now. Please share if you have not yet shared this live stream. Okay? All good? Thank you. So, my question is this. It's going to be a selfish question. It's related to our booth. Okay? Question is this. Tell me, what is our booth number for tomorrow's meet and greet session at the SMX Convention Center in Pasay City in MOA? What is the booth number? Okay? I'm looking at the chat box. I have two winners, one on Facebook and also one on, I'm asking my assistants, my teammates, trying to look at here. Okay. I'm looking at, okay, let me first pick the winner from, because the first person who answered this among all the participants is from TikTok. My winner is 𝗧cie𝗱𝗆 Congratulations, 𝗧cie𝗱𝗆. You just won one book. I'm going to be signing this. Please come to our booth number 223 tomorrow, 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock p.m. How do you claim your prize? Approach me. Please take a screenshot of this so that I can have proof that you are going to be the winner, that you are the winner. And then my other winner, Facebook naman. The winner, ladies and gentlemen, the name is 𝗧FFY. 𝗧FFY. Congratulations. Okay. The correct answer is booth 223. Okay. So please claim. Congratulations to all the winners. Okay. Oops. This is my dog Tanjiro, by the way. He wants to go out now. We'll be walking in a while. Okay, booth number 223, I'll be signing your books. We'll also be signing all the other books. And by the way, because this is the Manila International Book Fair, the books are discounted. Okay, because if you get this at National Bookstore, if you get this in Fully Book, each book is 399 pesos. If you catch our books tomorrow at the Manila International Book Fair, you get discounts of up to 250 pesos if you get all four books. Okay? Entrance is for free, by the way. It's the best time. It's payday. So it's your best opportunity now that you can splurge, not just on material things that you will consume in a few minutes. These are books which will be forever be part of your knowledge. Okay? Okay, let's continue our session. Tanjiro wants to be part of the, how do you call this? Of the live stream now. Okay, let's look at some of your, I think we can cover two more questions, no? Two or three more. By the way, I'm loving your questions, so thank you for all the energy so far. Okay, Mads Loza is asking on Facebook, how do you answer the question, how do you see yourself in 5 years? When the answer involves a desire to transfer to another career field and I don't intend for them to be aware. Okay, this might be a shocker for some people, but I'm going to say this. You don't need to share everything about yourself with 120% honesty. There are going to be certain answers wherein you're saying it because you're positioning yourself. Okay? So when someone, for example, I'll give an example. you're being interviewed for a job that you like, and you think that 5 years is just too far, that you don't know if you will still be in this company in 5 years, do you really think that they will appreciate if your answer is, well, I don't know if I will still be in this company for 5 years? Of course not. No one's going to like that answer. In fact, they're going to easily dismiss you because that means you don't know what you want. But fact of the matter is, it's fair to think this way. It's normal to think that I don't really know what's going to happen in the next 5 years. But just because you think that way does not mean that you're going to make a mess and a dog show out of it. Can I get an exclamation mark? You don't. You put your best foot forward. So what do you say? Well, in 5 years or 10 years' time, I'd like to see myself in a happy or successful place. And that is for whatever position it is that I belong to. I want to be able to give my best contribution. Perhaps at that time, I would have progressed to a higher position, managing a team and contributing to a bigger bottom line for the company. You see what I did here? My answers were generic, but my answers were deliberate. My answers were also optimistic because that's what recruiters want to hear. Okay? If your mindset entering a job interview is, oh no, I have to be true, I have to be 100% true to everything, no one is going to take you in. Okay? A job interview is a performance. It is not a lie detector test. It is not an NBI investigation. It is a performance. It is putting your best foot forward because you're selling yourself. Okay? Amen? Can I get a letter A if we're in agreement with that? Okay? So I'll give you another example. You had a conflict with your boss, and that's why you're leaving the company. When HR asks you the question, why are you leaving the company? Do you really think that they're going to take you in? If your answer is, well, I did not get along with my boss, so I decided to quit. Do you really think that they're going to take you in? Obviously not. I will never get you if I was your employer because I will think that you have problems in life. You have a bad personality. So what do? You give the best optimistic but realistic answer, which is, I'm taking on a different adventure because I think I've already done with my current company. I've learned what I needed to learn and I'm looking for better challenges. And after having learned about your organization, after asking around, I think your organization will be able to offer me those challenges that I need. And I believe in what your company does. I believe in your products. I believe in your services and all these things. Does it sound like your Miss Universe answer? Yes. Yes, it is. But that's because you're putting your best foot forward. Okay? And then when you get accepted, in order to be faithful and truthful, you give your best, of course. Okay? That's how you apply your ethics in this case. Okay? Remember, a job interview is a performance. It is like you've been asked to sing a song and they're judging you how you sing a song. This is not an opportunity nor a litany of all the crimes you've done. And you might be, when I post these things on LinkedIn, there are some trolls. I will call them trolls on my LinkedIn page who will say, Jonathan, this is wrong. I prefer to have an applicant who will tell me the truth. I prefer to have an applicant who will tell me the ugliest things about them. Why are you subjecting people to incriminate themselves? You shouldn't, right? Why would you require people to tell them every shit thing about themselves? You don't, right? You're subjecting them to lessen their chances of getting hired. Okay? If this is what you want as an employer, do so. But please remember, not all candidates are going to do this. And I don't think candidates should do it in the first place. Okay? If you want people to reveal their crimes, let them go to the confession booth in the church. Okay? If you want people to reveal everything that they've done wrong, let them go to the police station. Again, I'm gonna put some balance here. If you have indeed committed a crime, like you've killed someone, obviously that's the extreme version. I don't even think you're worthy of applying for a job. More importantly, your NBI clearance probably is going to reveal that. Okay? So wag niyo akong pilosopohin na lahat na lang itatago. That is not the point of what I'm saying. Okay? Okay. Let's look at two more questions. Lori Beth on Facebook. Next question here. Hi, John. By the way, when I say John, it's Jon, huh? Not John. John as in Jonathan. Hi, John. Is it okay to have a good relationship with my previous manager and my boss, even if they are not good managers? There's long hours of work, no transparency in the contract. They're always angry, but they admire me because of my being passionate in the workplace. Okay, Laura Beth, reading at your statement, I think you're being gaslighted by your managers. Why? On one hand, they're praising you and telling you that you're being passionate at work, but at the same time, they're not giving you the right treatment. Contract is misleading, long hours of work, you're probably not being compensated properly and fairly, and they're always angry. If they really are good managers, they are going to treat you right. Can I get another A as in amen? If they are good managers, they are going to treat you right at the end of the day. Please remember that. But it seems like they are not. Okay? So I don't even think that you should pursue any relationship with these people. These people are gaslighting you. On one hand, they keep on praising you to massage your ego to make you feel good about it. On the other hand, they're dog shitting you. Okay? Again, I'm taking your word for it because this is your side of the story. Okay. Uh, I'm looking for more questions that are unique. Sometimes kasi yung mga questions, they've been asked already last week or last time. Okay. David Rabella says, while I am reading your book, it feels like you are delivering it live. You know, I always say this, the best way to build a relationship with someone at work is to make that person know and remember your voice. Why? When that person reads your email, they will now read it with your voice in mind. And so it makes your emails richer. It's more understandable. The tone, even if it's not part of the email, is now captured because they know how your voice sounds. What's my point here? In order to have a good relationship with your colleagues, especially if you're working remotely or working from home, when you're working for someone for the first time, acquaint yourselves by doing a phone call, a Zoom call, or a video call. Show your face and let them hear your voice, so that the next time they read your emails, they will have a better idea of what exactly you're trying to say. Remember, we always read people's emails and sentences with their voice in mind. Okay? Okay. I think I can do one more question here. Ayo is asking, can counseling or therapy be beneficial in overcoming stage fright? I think so, because stage fright might just be one of the fears that you are experiencing, and it might just be a symptom. It's not part of the bigger picture. Perhaps you have stage fright, but that is a manifestation of a bigger type of fear, which is the fear of just not wanting to interact with any people, with anyone. Okay? It's good to talk to someone about it from a professional point of view because sometimes you don't understand yourself well. And sometimes when someone talks to you more, they get to make you realize who you are as a person. Okay? John Paul, what time do you usually go live? That's my question. Depends. Usually 9, sometimes at 10 o'clock as well. I just happened to have dinner tonight. That's why I went late also. Marian Tapan, how do we deal with credit grabbers? You don't stay silent. You talk to the person who grabbed your ideas and you tell them it's not right. Come with a piece of evidence. Or number two, if you think this is doable, try to catch the person in public. So, for example, when someone shares my idea in a meeting with 5 or 7 more people, I will say something like, Ryan, thank you for spotlighting my idea. When I thought about that last week, what I really meant is this A, B, and C. So you say it casually without making it look like you're embarrassing the person, but it's going to be hard for them to rebut because they know that you are the real brainchild of this idea. Also, if you're better in explaining the idea, it only goes to show that you are the person who thought of this idea. The more you let the person get away with it, the more that they will think that they can just keep on grabbing credits for what you've accomplished. Okay? 𝗧cie𝗱𝗆 have you tried reading the 48 Laws of Power? Of course. Robert Greene's book is very good. Plus, please take note, however, read it with some level of caution because if you don't understand politics well, you might think that the book is all about manipulating people and manipulating power. For example, I don't agree with law number one. Law number one is over don't overperform in front of your master. Don't outshine your master. I disagree with that. And the reason for that is because if your boss is really amazing, they will never be insecure if you do better than they do because your success is their success. So that part, I am not a big fan of. But the rest, it's a very good book. I would strongly recommend that you cover it. It's a good book about understanding politics at work. Okay? Gladiators and Suits, I need to go offline now. I am going to be online. Perhaps I'll go online on Monday. I'll try on Saturday. Okay? I'll try on Saturday, but likely on Monday I'll go live again. I hope you do come to our meet and greet tomorrow at the Manila International Book Fair. Please don't forget, 6 to 7 p.m., booth 223. Entrance is for free. It's payday. It's in SMX MOA, right? You can go to IKEA afterwards. I think I will go to IKEA after that. I'm missing those meatballs. And when you go to IKEA, you don't have any plans of buying anything, but you end up buying all the unnecessary things. So I want to indulge that night. So please do come. If nabitin kayo and you'd like to listen to more of our philosophies about career, you can catch us on Spotify. We do have a podcast called From Grit to Great. You can search my name, Jonathan Yabut. You can catch 2 seasons of our podcast. And of course, last one, if you'd like to learn more, you can attend our workshops on September 29 and September 30 at the SMX Convention Center, this time in Fort BGC and SM Aura. Go to our website, johnyabut.com/talks. johnyabut.com/talks. You can see all of our workshops available. If you cannot attend, I have another good news for you. We have an online course available for you guys. You can choose them, 9 courses in total. They're also in my same website, and you can enroll any time of the day. Okay? I'm going to wish you an advanced happy weekend. I hope you stay safe. Please spend your 15-month pay wisely. How do you spend it wisely? Go to our MIBF booth. Okay? Grab copies of our books. Okay? So happy weekend. Stay safe. Bye, guys.